I will introduce a bit to the audience, our learned panelists. I'll start from that side. The extreme Mrs. Sandhya Singh. She is from Indian Statistical Services, an expert statistician and administrator, presently working as Deputy Director General with India Post, Government of India. She has extensively worked on maternal mortality, morbidity, including death review and verbal autopsy. Welcome, ma'am. Next to her, Dr. Biswabhushan Das. He is a gynecological advanced laparoscopic surgeon and gynec cancer surgeon, studied in AIMS New Delhi and GSE Fellowship in Canada. Presently running a world-class affordable gynec laparoscopic center, Rejoice Hospital at Lajpat Nagar. He has been awarded with gold medal from AIMS and the Federation of Obstetric and Gynec of India. He does a lot of charity as well. Welcome, sir. Next to Dr. Das, Dr. Suman Khanna Agarwal, an associate professor of philosophy, Delhi University, India from 1979 to 2013. Suman Khanna Agarwal obtained her doctoral degree on Gandhian thought in 1978 and has since translated her theoretical knowledge into practical action by founding the Gandhian NGO Shanti Sahyog that works in 17 South Delhi slums and in Tughlakabad village, New Delhi, in the areas of education, healthcare, skill development, women empowerment, and care for elderly, in sync with UN Sustainable Development Goal. Presently, is an external member of Internal Complaints Committee Sexual Harassment at Workplace in Medeor Hospital, Kutab Institutional Area, New Delhi. Welcome, ma'am. Next to her, we know our loving sister BK Shilpa. I have already introduced all of you and you have already listened to her. Still, it's my duty to again reiterate. She is a Raj Yoga teacher serving in Brahma Kumari Saket, South Delhi for the last 15 years. She is a humanitarian who has worked extensively to promote positive human and spiritual values in society. She has a unique ability to impart the deepest spiritual truths with lightness, warmth, and utmost clarity. Welcome, Didi. And near me, Sri Chandrakant Chayakant Nayak. He is a senior journalist and the president of the Press Association of India. His works have been featured in All India Radio, Doordarshan, Lok Sabha TV, as BBC as well. He has been associated with many national and international press councils and similar bodies. Welcome, you brother. Thank you. Now, we would actually we are missing one of our panelists, Dr. Nitin Malik. I was the registrar from B.R. Ambedkar University. Anyway, he is not likely to come right now. Okay. Uh, Before we start the panel discussion, I would just like to introduce one question that was linked or earmarked for Dr. Nitin Malik. But before he comes, I would like to introduce that question because it has a linkage to the other questions subsequently. The first question was, there are two commonly used phrases, gender equality and gender equity. What is the basic difference between these two terms? Because when we call gender equality, it should be gender equal. And what is the gender equity? Now we are talking about gender equity. What is the difference between these two? Suppose we are three persons, we are standing on the ground, and we all are. It seems everybody is on the fair footing, so everyone is given a ample scope and for everything. So they are equal. But You just imagine one scenario when all of us are made to stand in a platform parallel to the ground and told to see above the wall a match going on that side. Okay. And everyone is of different heights. I am 4 feet, he's 5 feet, she's 6 feet, he's 5.5 feet, and the wall height is 5.5 feet, suppose. So everyone is standing at the same footage, but are everyone equal? I am 4 feet high, so I can't see beyond the wall what's going on there. So for that, we need to do everyone's eyes at the same level so that everyone can watch the match outside, that side of the wall. So that's equity. When we are making everyone stand at the same level, we are making them equal. But when we are making them see through to achieve the purpose, then the equity comes. So with that, my question is to Dr. Suman Khanna Agrawal, ma'am. When we talk about gender equality, does it refer to the play roles one play or opportunity one should get, or both, or anything else? Maybe it's not listed in this also. When we are talking about gender equality, can you please?
Well, actually, I think I've been given three questions, and the time limit is very short. So the first, what you just said about equality and equity covers the first question, because obviously it implies to not only equality. Actually, you can never be equal. Nature has made us unequal. And the purpose is not to be equal. So equity is more the thing, when you talk about women breaking the glass ceiling or equal pay for equal jobs or respecting the fact that a woman bears a child and has to take maternity leave. So let's give her a raise, the way she would have got if she was working. So that would come under equity. So equality to ho hi nahi sakti. It's a wrong phrase, I think, and I think we've moved on. So the equity covers all that.
It is still actually it is still going on in the academics, so that is why
might gender equality. Yeah, so from that point of view, and also I think feminism or gender equality doesn't mean about who is in the kitchen. What it means is the respect given to work in the kitchen. Just now we are all attending this seminar, right? But the panel discussion. After some time we'll all be hungry. Somebody has had to cook your food.
Correct.
Tomorrow you want to, Dr. Saab wants to wear a fresh shirt, isn't it, to to hospital. He probably has a fresh ironed shirt in his wardrobe, which he's not done it himself. So, the whole holistic sphere of life comes in, and then that means that everyone has to play their part, and every part is important. Every part. So I think that is what is meant by equality, that all genders are equal. The whatever work they are doing, it's on equal footing, whether it is making a chapati in the kitchen or like Dr. Saab doing such great work as a surgeon and whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that's what it means.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, that is exactly about that only. And gender equality is not actually that thing. We are talking about gender equity, in fact, actually. Yeah, you are very true. Thank you so much, ma'am. Then moving ahead, we will. The pattern is we'll be going by one round of questions to all the panelists. Then we will go for the next question. Then the next question is to Sister B.K. Shilpa. We are talking about the feminine principle, and feminine principle basically revolve around the gentler side of the human being, that is care, respect, trust, patience, loyalty, love, honesty, empathy, mercy, these things. Sister, aren't they just a few sweet words with no relevance in today's practical and materialistic world? What would you say on that?
Trust, patience, love. These are not words, they are soft power. These days, the world is moving towards soft power because what we can't achieve through anger and force can be achieved through love and patience and humility. And this is priceless in this world. And I will share one experience in this regard. I once met a lady, and she was a joint secretary admin in a ministry. And she told me, very with utmost humility, she shared her experience. And it was very heart touching. And I always remember that. She told me that when I had my first posting, I was posted as a mayor in Bombay. And everybody said, औरत है क्या जाता आता जाता है इसको. And nobody treated her with respect, and nobody took her seriously. And then she said there was a slum evacuation program. And in that slum evacuation, all the big shots failed because they were trying to use force and trying to, manipulate other people. So that was not working. And then when everybody failed, that task was given to her. And she said, I went, I talked with love. That is what I know. That is what I do. And everything happened. And from that day till this day, people take me seriously. So this is the thing, when you have these virtues, you have a soft power which is much more valuable and which is much more useful than the power that the world knows. And I think that, the world needs to know the power of peace and love more than the power of weapons or money or whatever we know these days. Of course, this is very unexplored, but if we did it, the world would be a better place. Thank you.
Wow. Such a beautiful answer, actually. Yes, I chose a very wrong word. They're not the words, they are powers, soft powers. Yes, they're true. Very true. Thank you, Didi. Now, my next question is to Dr. Bibi Das. Dr. Das, people often find it difficult to discuss the obstetric and gynec issues with a male surgeon. Even I have noticed that I have experienced that in my personal life also. Have you experienced this, and how do you handle such situation?
Right. So it goes back to my MBBS days. So I did my MBBS from Odisha. So in Odisha, actually there is no discrimination between a male gynecologist and female gynecologist. Rather, in Odisha, West Bengal, Maharashtra, the females prefer to go to a male gynecologist. So when it came to choosing a specialization, I was very much inclined towards surgery because I am from a very poor background. So I did not have patience to go for super specialization. So I had surgery as the first choice, obs-gynae as the second choice, then ENT. Then I took obs-gynae as the first choice because I don't have to go for super specialization. So I got selected in All India Institute, AIMS. I did my training 6 years. So there one thing changed my perspective. So in Odisha, why females prefer to go to male gynecologists? Because most of those people, they have orientation. The females, like you said, the females, what they can do, they cannot do good surgeries, and we should prefer male surgeons over female surgeons. But in All India Institute, I am trained by female surgeons. They are fantastic doctors, fantastic surgeons. So, since we are in a government hospital, there is no discrimination. Patients are bound to go to whoever is sitting there. Of course, in like I said, being from a poor family, I didn't have much choice to go for specialization. Same thing, poor patients coming to government hospital, they have no choice whether to go to a male doctor or female doctor. But yes, there are instances when patients used to tell my consultant, he's a male doctor, I don't want to see him. Then the consultant used to say, he's a very good doctor, and he's a doctor, he's a gynecologist, he is the man for women, so he is going to see you. So I can tell you, I have a lot of experience over medical science. All India Institute is like a temple, where every patient counts. It's not like any other hospital, like patients coming and going. Every patient, every doctor sees them sincerely. So just for an instance, when there are patients who come to me for laparoscopic surgeries, and at times I tell them, no, you don't need surgery. So they tell me, three doctors advise surgery. They told me that you are the best. Now you are saying you don't need surgery. So I always tell, go to a government hospital, stand in a queue, spend a day, then you need whether you need a surgery or not. Because there are a lot of interest in private and government. So coming to patients, so when I completed my training in All India Institute, my professors told me, you stay back, you should be here, because if you want to do private practice, Delhi is not the place. Because females don't prefer to go to male gynecologist. Because I wanted to go back to Odisha, but I got fell in love with my colleague. So she's from Punjab. She said we'll settle down here. So my consultants told me, don't try even private practice in Delhi, because females never want to go to a male gynecologist. So I thought, let me give a trial, and I am blessed to have my seniors, Dr. Pushpa Chandra, who is also from All India Institute. They all helped me so much in practice. If you want to believe me, today I am doing the maximum number of laparoscopic surgery in the country. So it is, again, like I tell you, I started my center, many of doctors, they told me, when you have your own hospital, you try to do, you decide for surgeries prematurely. Because believe me, I did not do this. I have a lot of work to do. I always treat patients like my own patients, and now there are a lot of patients in my clinic who is probably a female doctor of my counterpart may not be having. So I think it is not about male and female what we are discussing now. It is about your faith, your trust, and your connection with the patients. That counts more. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And actually, you have established the feminine principle right here, because everything that we are aiming to discuss here is manifested in your speech now. Thank you. Exactly. So, yeah, please.
Doctor, I'm C.K. Nayak. I'm a journalist. I'm also from Odisha coincidentally. And I'm telling my practical experience. My younger brother, he started a small hospital in Bhadrak. You know Bhadrak, there are majority Muslim population. And his every department is full except gynecology. Because he's not getting patients, because especially Muslim women are not coming. So he's looking for a female gynecologist, which is difficult to get in Odisha. But on the other hand, from my experience, we have gone to Gulf countries. There it is just the reverse. The same Muslim, they rather prefer male gynecologist, but they're accompanied by their spouses. So how do you read this? Thank you.
Sir, actually, this is very interesting. Normally, like any other female patient, a male doctor saying you should have a female attendant or somebody female should be with you. But since I am more focused into laparoscopic surgery and cancer surgery, probably there the spouse also don't look at the what. And apparently, what I realized over the years now, I started my practice 10 years back. Now people started thinking if it is laparoscopic surgery, robotic surgery, probably younger generation are more trained, like training about laptops and computers. So it is a blessing in disguise. Probably again I'll tell you, I started my practice as a ghost surgeon. Ghost surgeon means I am trained. When I started my practice at the age of 29, probably I was doing surgeries when very few in Delhi were doing. So when I contacted them, they said, there are hospitals who are actually afraid of appointing me as a doctor. They said, appointing a male doctor, patients will run away. So how I started is, they will, doctors will appoint, they will recruit the patients, put it in the operation theater, I'll go and operate. So that is how I started my career. But there are honest doctors like Madam always shares with her patients that he is the doctor from All India Institute who is going to do the surgery. So there are many doctors who send their patients to meet me, but there are more than that. They with the fear of losing patients or losing their own practice, they never introduced me. But now I think we are, after doing ethical work, I am at a stage where I don't have all these discriminations now. Thank you.
Yeah, please.
No, I think it's a very big honor for all of us to have Dr. Saab in the audience. I think many citizens in Delhi have been born through her, and she's so well known and so well respected, and she's also helped us. And we must clap for Dr. Pushpa Chandra. It's an honor to have you here.
We are fortunate to have you, ma'am, here. Yeah.
were being trained way back. So there was no ultrasound, no laparoscopy, nothing. So when I came and later, as he was giving example, I heard that laparoscopy some people can do. And I can vouch for it. That time I had my own nursing home where I didn't have any equipment. But I used to make arrangements that they could come and do, because it was marvelous to see the way they were working. These youngsters are really superb, and other than IT knowledge, I didn't have anything. Even now, I find difficulties in using my iPhone and computer. But the world is changing, our things are changing, and the maximum change which has come is with the COVID era. Sitting at home, not doing anything. I tried to brush up, but then these are not the things which I can brush up on computer. So I can say he is superb surgeon, and he gets, patients are so happy that if he will do surgery only if it is required, because many people are not doing that. They are just doing it for increasing their.
What a combination of panelists we are having, and the audience also. When the teacher is in audience and the student is in the panel, and such a good combination it is. And the certificate comes from the teacher that is the best surgeon in the country. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for being here. Is your observation on the linkage between the son preference, abortions, and maternal health?
Yes, it is true that our TFRs and even, the abortions and son preferences are broadly there. But if because I'm from the statistics side, I will give you the base with the data that we have. So basically, everyone knows that for a child, both parents are required, a male and a female. So then only a child would be coming up. So what we have latest find out that total fertility rate, which is basically a woman in their entire fertility period, how many children, healthy children she can bear. So in order to have a replacement level is basically like two parents, when they die off, they would be replacing their own selves. So like the population will be stable in that condition. There would not be any increase, neither a decrease. So at least we want that kind of situation in whole of the world. So when there are boys' preferences in our society, people will go for the boys more. There would be abortions. There are like multiple technologies through which they get the sex resection and all those things. But as of now, if I look at the data, in many of the states, our TFRs have even reached lower than 2.1. We are ranging from 1.3 in some states to 1.6 in some states, which is like a woman in that state is bearing 1.6 children, healthy children who are able to, she can produce in her entire 15 to 49 age group. So that's not replacement level. That is trending towards the decline of the population. So after some point in time, at least say around one generation is gone or two generations is gone, 20 to 25 years, we will see that there is a huge number of aged population in those areas. We'll have less number of children. And when there are boys' preference, we will have more boys than girls. So the society, the symmetry of the society would be at danger. And at that point in time, it will be really difficult to again go for children, or if you have to look for the younger population, it will be difficult to achieve those targets or those situations. So that's a very alarming situation, though we always wish to have 2.1, but if it is less than that and we go for abortions and boys' preference, even our achieving 2.1 or 2.6 will be a asymmetrical situation, which is not warranted and which is very bad for the future of the country, future of the society as well. Thank you.
Yes, you're very correct actually. But that is alarming actually if it happens, because this trend is like that ki the son preference, and we are going by that only ki वंश चलना चाहिए, वंश कैसे चलेगा. तो पिंड कौन देगा, जो जैसे करते हैं, जो श्राद्ध कौन करेगा, तो मुखाग्नि कौन देगा. तो all these things, I know you want to say something, but okay. So all these things are always going on inside mind. Yeah, yeah. You okay?
On this point.
On this point, okay. Thank you.
Just to add briefly, very briefly, one interesting part about this male-female ratio. I had gone many times to China, Tibet, and other places. You know, China had a one-child policy. Now they have two child. Now even they're giving loans and awards for having more children. But the effect of one-child policy is what they're practically realizing. The boy or girls are becoming very cranky because he doesn't have a brother or a sister, and he doesn't have an uncle or auntie because his brother, mother are also single child, and so all those grandparents are no more there. So they are becoming very cranky society, and that is affecting their lifestyle also. And because of this preference for boys, even this one-child policy, many people through many methods had only boys. So many boys are not able to, because girls' number is less, they are not able to marry, and they are under pressure to marry also. So even there are fake marriages, there are fake marriage companies which are holding marriage just to satisfy the parents. Just for information. Thanks.
Thank you for the information, brother. In fact, the next question is for you now. No, this is the question for you. Actually, there is a gender gap in media as well. You know, I was going through an edition of Deccan Herald dated 21st October 2021. In a survey, they have told that women's presence as journalists and subject or source of news is on the decline in India. Though the trend in TV media showed preference for more women at work, that could be pegged as sexism at work and reinforcing the notions of glamour and fashion. You know, how would you like to respond to this? Is it correct, or it is a wrong observation in the survey, or whatever?
There are two things. One is the number, another is glamour. Okay, as far as the number is concerned, you tell me which. Sorry. Is it audible? That gap is there in almost every profession. May not be in medical only, but say engineers. How many female engineers are there? Or say aeronautics. How many aeronautics female engineers are there? That is goes with every, because our society was like that. Now it is improving. And if you go to the previous thing, earlier journalism was a mission during freedom struggle. How to get our country free. Then it became a profession like medical or engineering or IAS, something like that. But after this economic reforms, media has also become an industry. That is the hard truth. And any industry goes by its own logic. If they employ a man, they have less botheration. He will not take maternity leave. He will not demand other things. You don't have to bother about the security. But these things are gradually they are getting corrected. And there are many women journalists. You see nowadays there are many women journalists. That is one part as far as the number is concerned. Slowly they are coming up. And now about the glamour thing you are saying. Look, as I said, as per the industry, you have to go as per the market. What people want to see, what people want to read. Obviously, a TV news reader, if it's a beautiful girl or a smart boy, it looks better. So that is why they select most TV journalists as ladies. I don't think any harm in that. Even when Doordarshan started, most of the news readers were ladies only. Only difference is that time, because of the readership or viewership, they had a different type of attitude or depth, and now there is a different type of attitude and depth. That is as far as TV journalism is concerned. But print journalism has remained more or less same. And you know, journalists like Barkha Dutt, she herself covered Kargil war from the war field itself. So you cannot say that lady journalists are not getting chances in conflict reporting, or they are privileged, not to that extent, but whatever general tendency there in the society, that is there in journalism.
Okay, thank you. It's a good thing if females or women journalists are getting opportunity. It's a positive trend, and we will be updating our database also. Thank you for the information. The next question is to Dr. Suman Khanna Agarwal, ma'am. Ma'am, we advocate nonviolence and work towards a world beyond war. But the share of military spending in the world stands at 2.4% of the overall GDP and is increasing every year. The Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, SIPRI, estimated military expenditure as of 2018 at about $2,000 billion, ma'am. What is the way out in your opinion?
Well,
Because you have extensively worked on Gandhian thoughts and non-violence. Yeah.
Yeah, well, actually, Shanti Sahayog, amongst other things, we also run a center for nonviolence. And in fact, we are working for a world beyond war. And and the answer to your question is because I suppose many of you don't know this, the statistics are there. We are spending $3.5 million plus per minute teaching how to use violence to resolve conflict. And we are not even spending $1 a minute teaching how to use non-violence to resolve conflict. And from a Gandhian perspective, and by the way, at the same time, 18,000 children die every day in the global village. So that's equal to about 26 truckloads of children dying every day. So it's terrible. Then the ecological imbalance. It's also because of what we may call the military system. And that means the military industrial complex. You have also the waste from military industry that causes pollution, nuclear weapon testing. These are the major sources of ecological imbalance. And also nuclear war by mistake can happen any minute, especially now. We're actually on the brink of a third world war. And and look at the helplessness of the international community. Look at your and my helplessness. One person, Putin, a madman. He's just 1 year. And now it's not a war. We all know it's a proxy war. It's between US and Russia. We all know that. And how sad that we cannot stop it. Just imagine the amount of destruction. I mean, people who are doctors here, you're saving lives. Look at and the TV brings it all into your bedroom. It's so horrible and we are so no compassion. I don't know where we are as humanity. But coming back to your question, there is definitely an answer from a Gandhian frame of reference. And that is what all of us living in this room included, all adults living in democracies, we have politically legitimized violence as a means of conflict resolution. We are not even conscious of that. Because where does this money come from? $3.5 billion per minute. It's our taxpayers' money. So you and I pay tax. And that is how the money comes and how the defense expenditure is increasing by the day. So the answer is the political legitimization of non-violent conflict resolution. That may sound very abstract, but it isn't. It's simply, we have a whole international initiative on this. And that is that we demand from every government around the world. In democracies, you can demand. You don't have to request. It's your right. You're right. Aapka hak banta hai. So we demand three things. Number one, that without abandoning the present military defense, because we want to make it a very, as ma'am says, sister says, कि moderation होनी चाहिए, love से काम लो. तुम ये नहीं कह रहे कि substitute कर दो violent defense को. भाई रखो आप. Without abandoning the present military defense, a parallel non-violent defense be instituted in every country of the world. That means हर country में एक defense ministry है. Actually वो military ministry है. उसको रखो, हर सरकार एक peace ministry या non-violence ministry चलाए. And at the grassroots level, जैसे अब NDA है, IMA है, West Point है states में, every country has a military training college. It's not natural how to know how to use a gun. You don't come out of your mother's womb knowing how to use a gun. If Dr. Saab had never seen a gun, would you know how to pull the trigger or what? No. You're taught how to use a gun. You're taught how to go to war. In the same, you have to be taught how to use non-violence. And so this is the number one. And so every country would have a non-violence defense training college. I am only a Gandhian expert. But there are non-violent defense experts who are all friends of mine all around the globe who have been working with this concept of non-violent defense for the past quarter of a century. But most of you don't even know that non-violent defense is a concrete alternative. बहुत कुछ है उसमें. There are 198 non-violent tactics to be learned. There are 24 cases in history when non-violence has been, used successfully. हमारी संस्था तो थक गई NCERT को लिखते लिखते कि भाई ये 24 cases हिस्ट्री बुक्स में डाल दो. ये भी it's a fact. Why can't students learn कि भी non-violence also works? Very good idea, Dr. Agarwal, पर करते कुछ नहीं. हो गए 6-7 साल इस बात को. Then non-violent communication. अगर टाइम होगा बाद में तो I'll tell you how we speak the wolf language and how to speak giraffe. Of course, sister already knows how to do that, but I will teach you the technicality, and also the philosophy of non-violence. अब देखिए ना, अहिंसा परमो धर्म है ना. Non-violence is my highest religion. Come on. तो अगर मैं हिंदू हूँ तो non-violence, सत्य अहिंसा गांधी ने तो बोरो किया ना फ्रॉम हिंदुइज्म. वो तो कहते भी हैं आई हैव नथिंग न्यू टू टीच द वर्ल्ड. Truth and non-violence is as old as the hills. All he did was that he was able to, practice these principles and apply them to politics. And the sheer authenticity of the man. कितनी ही आजकल गाली हम दे दें उनको, लेकिन ये तो पक्का है कि जो उन्होंने सोचा वो कहा, जो कहा वो किया. So कथनी और करनी में, the integrated human being. So anyway, coming back to I'll just quickly finish this. So that is the first demand. So there's a blueprint for non-violent defense. All we need is the political will to put it into practice. तो ये तो हो गया पहला डिमांड कि भाई एक ये इंट्रोड्यूस, सिर्फ इंट्रोड्यूस हो, बड़ा मॉडेस्ट डिमांड है, सब्सटीट्यूट नहीं. द सेकंड इज द लीगल डेमोक्रेटिक एक्शन to be trained in non-violent defense rather than the present military structure. अब ask many people who go to join the army, they're joining the army for the bread and butter. अरे खाना खिलाना है अपने परिवार को, जॉब चाहिए. They don't want to learn how to kill. तो भाई वो ऑप्शन होनी चाहिए. You want to learn to kill, join IMA, NDA. You want to learn how not to kill, that has to be learned. जैसे कि मैं एक छोटा सा उदाहरण देती हूँ, जैसे सिस्टर से सीखा मैंने. कितने उदाहरण दे के आप समझाती हैं. एक छोटा बच्चा है, लेट से 3 साल का, और वो अपने दादाजी को थप्पड़ मार देता है. हम उसको एकदम कहते हैं ना, नहीं नहीं बेटा सॉरी बोलो, पैर छुओ, गंदी बात, दादाजी हैं, मिट्ठू दो, यू टीच देम. तो आप सिखाते हैं. एंड बाय दैट इज़ अ वेरी बिग थिंग. सो यू हैव टू लर्न नॉन वायलेंस. मैं यहाँ पूरा लेक्चर नहीं दे सकती. और तीसरा डिमांड है द लीगल डेमोक्रेटिक ऑप्शन फॉर टैक्स पेयर्स to divert their defense tax from military defense to non-violent defense. तो हमारे जो इनकम टैक्स रिटर्न्स हम सब भरते हैं, उसमें 2 ऑप्शंस होने चाहिए, टिक मार्क मिलिट्री डिफेंस और नॉन वायलेंट डिफेंस. जस्ट इमेजिन इफ हाफ द टैक्स पेयर्स ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड साइंड अप, क्या होगा? $1.5 million would be diverted today to the study of non-violent defense. You will be teaching how not to live. सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम तो फंडिंग की होती है ना. कुछ भी करना चाहो, हम लोग NGO चलाते भी रन ऑन डोनेशंस, तो वहाँ पे सारे फंड्स आ जाएंगे. अपनी नॉन वायलेंस एकेडमी बना लो, स्टाफ रख लो, नॉन वायलेंस R&D करो, बहुत कुछ चाहिए ना. तो the sky is the limit if we start today. What is 50 years in world history? Just now we don't have the tools, the skills, we don't know how to. जैसे कि मैंने अभी कहा, helplessness of the community, international community, we know how to drop a bomb, we don't know how to use non-violence. तो उस टूल्स एंड स्किल्स सिखाने पड़ेंगे. एंड लास्टली आई एम जस्ट सेइंग दिस कि ये गांधी जी पे इसलिए बेस्ड है. इनफैक्ट माई लेटेस्ट बुक ऑन गांधी इज़ कॉल्ड द साइंस ऑफ पीस. माई थर्ड बुक ऑन गांधी is published, and it's all sold out. The first edition has had 27 favorable reviews. I'm going in for a second edition. So that is एक चाइनीज़ जनरल है युंगसी. ही wrote on the art of war. पता नहीं आपने पढ़ी है कि नहीं किताब. This is a pun upon that word. The art of war, the science of peace. And also गांधी कहते हैं, अगर आप गांधी जी को स्टडी करो कि the non-violence is a science. The science of non-violence, the science of satyagrah. And I'll close with the quotation from Gandhi. Gandhi ji कहते हैं that just the science of non-violence will work, just as the law of non-violence will work. He calls it a law. The law of non-violence will work, just as the law of gravitation will work, whether you accept it or not. जैसे कि अगर मैं ये बोतल गिराऊं, नीचे जाएगी कि ऊपर? नीचे जाएगी. और अगर डॉक्टर साहब कहें नहीं टू हेल्प विद द लॉ ऑफ ग्रेविटेशन, आई डोंट बिलीव इन इट, तब भी नीचे जाएगी कि ऊपर? नीचे ही जाएगी. सो यही गांधी जी कह रहे हैं कि the law of non-violence will work just as the law of gravitation will work, whether you accept it or not. And just as a scientist or a physicist will work wonders out of the applications of the laws of physics. देखे ना, AC, बत्ती, पानी, क्या क्या फ्लश, क्या क्या नहीं है इस कमरे में, सारा फिजिक्स का कमाल है. So to the human being, गांधी की बात बोल रही हूँ, so to the human being who applies the law of non-violence with scientific precision, with science, देखिए इनके words, can work greater wonders. So I think I invite all of you, please, if you want more information, do come to our center. We are spreading this message through many things. If there's time, I'll tell you the strategy. And Gandhi ये भी कहते हैं कि, you may not be able to abolish a system at once. And he says, it is a sign of spiritual atrophy to support an unjust structure. Spiritual atrophy, तो आप जानते हैं, like rheumatism. Rheumatism, you think spiritual means your soul is stuck. And then he says, you may not be able to change the system at once, but you can always choose not to cooperate with it at once. So I invite all of you assembled here, please choose non-violent defense, and in doing so, make history the way Gandhi did. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am, for the wonderful information. Yes, सोचना, करना और कहना और करना, ये तीनों इक्वल होना बहुत ज़रूरी है. और I hope, and Kumari is actually, every day we are working on that thing. So that's a coherence actually. Okay. My next question is to Dr. B.B. Das. Doctor, when I have a cancer in my body, I can't operate to my fullest potential, right? It has serious repercussions on my mind, my inner being. How can the expensive treatment be made available to the people at large, at the rural? Because suppose you are practicing in Delhi, but your expertise, your experience, it may not be possible to reach at the rural areas and all the remote areas.
I have an extensive experience on this about the cost of medical treatments. I'll tell you, like I said, presently we are doing the maximum number of surgeries. You name any corporate hospital in Delhi, Gurgaon, Faridabad, I have operated in all the hospitals, all complex surgeries I used to do gynae laparoscopic. So the surgeries which are, suppose laparoscopic removal of a uterus, it costs average 2.5 to 4 lakhs in good hospitals of South Delhi. In our facility, we have same surgery we do at 40,000 in 4 lakhs also. I can explain in that way. Suppose we are 100 people gathered here. We have arranged snacks, refreshment for everyone. Suppose one more person comes in. It is not going to cost you more. We can adjust in that same air conditioning, same. So the problem about healthcare cost and expenditures is all about corporates now. Now healthcare is commercialized. It is in the hands of corporates. So for example, I always explain, somebody explained me, how can you do a laparoscopic uterus removal in 40,000? So, in our friend circle we discuss, I always tell them, in our facility, in our hospital, when you enter, you saw the receptionist, you saw the doctor. You enter any 5-star hospitals, before seeing doctors, you have to face at least 5 layers of all these suit, boot, tie, wala, non-doctors. So actually you are paying for them. And take my words, I have an experience. I'll tell you. I have all tests are, they have to be done. So when you want to give discount, that is a different matter. But for example, why the healthcare cost has gone up is you are actually paying most of your bills for those people, those managers, MBAs. In our facility is very simple. Patient coming, seeing the doctor, whatever is cost, like I said, we do 40,000, what I used to do in 4 lakhs in other hospitals. We also have good facilities for, paying patients. The flip side of equity, equalization is, I'll tell you, suppose we are educated. If I am rich, if I'm spending crores of money in my child's wedding, that is a bad example for the society. So if you are really educated, if you are really, oriented towards for a better society, even if you are rich, spend less money on dowries, that is how we can set good examples. We all want a mother, a sister, we don't want a daughter, because all these systems are hindrance to give birth to a girl child. So coming to the cost of surgery, you believe me, what we do in our facility in 4 lakhs and 40,000, absolutely no difference. The only difference is they're in a flashy room, these people are in a single. And that is the reason why I did not prefer to join a corporate hospital. I got opportunities to join all the corporate hospitals, but I thought if I am from a poor background, my services should be for them. So
Thank you. So we are actually running a bit short of time. We will be wrapping up and we'll be taking 2-3 questions more quickly. I have 2 questions for Sister B.K. Shilpa. Didi, I was just going through a presentation on sexual harassment at workplace, and the presenter mentioned about the post act. It says it is not the intent but the perception and impact which determines whether or not an act is sexual harassment. In legal terms, it is quite logical, but shouldn't my intention matter at all?
आप लोग सबको प्रश्न समझ में आया है? So, according to the Sexual Harassment Act, if the person admits to it that I have an intention, but that was not perceived by the victim, or it was not put into act, then that's not a crime. Yes? So here we make a distinction between crime and sin. Crime or पाप और crime, है ना? तो पाप is a spiritual subject and crime is a legal subject. तो crime नहीं हुआ मतलब पाप नहीं हुआ, ऐसा नहीं है. And see, for a crime you are penalized, you are put in jail, there are some things done to you. For a paap you suffer, and suffering is very individual. Let me ask you a very simple question. Does anybody on this planet know how much you are suffering? Only you know. So sometimes, when we judge people and say, this person has done so many acts of, crime and paap and he is not suffering. How do you know? Do you go and tell anybody how much you're suffering? You don't tell anybody. So you don't know how much anybody is suffering. And when there is an intention, then there is a thought. And the mind, your inner world, doesn't differentiate between a thought and reality. If I tell you, don't think about a green apple, what did you think? Okay. If I tell you that I show you a sweet, you think about a sweet and you eat a sweet. In all the 3 cases, your mouth will water. Right? So your inner being doesn't know that right now you're just thinking about the sweet. If you like sweet, yes? So now if given that, when you think, so there is a law, जो कर्म आप बार बार करेंगे वो आपका संस्कार बनेगा. So when you do something repeatedly, it becomes your pattern and you suffer because of that. You have patterns of thought, you have patterns of feelings, you have patterns of emotions, you have patterns of actions. You have patterns in all these cases. You have patterns of attitudes. And it is these patterns that make you suffer. And these patterns are created even when you think. So it's not like when you are not manifesting it, the pattern is not getting created. So any intention which means you're thinking in that line will make you suffer. It will create a pattern which will make you repeatedly suffer. And कहते हैं ना भगवान के डंडे में आवाज नहीं होती, तो पुलिस के डंडे में आवाज होती है. लेकिन उसके डंडे में आवाज़ नहीं होती। लेकिन मैं आपको बताऊँ, ये भगवान का भी डंडा नहीं है, ये तो कर्म का डंडा है। और जब ये पड़ता है तो आवाज़ नहीं होती, लेकिन व्यक्ति चीखता ज़रूर है। इसीलिए नेवर थिंक दैट इफ समथिंग इज नॉट कवर्ड अंडर क्राइम, सो इन द privacy of my mind I can keep abusing, I can keep criticizing, I can keep doing something, and I can go on forever. It doesn't go on forever. Thank you.
Yes, yes. True, because if the post is covering only crime, but it is the sin, the pap, we must be taking care of. We must think about it. Thank you, Didi. One quick question to Madam Sandhya Singh. Ma'am, you have worked extensively on communication and training related issues of maternal health. How, in your opinion, can we bring the rural women and illiterate women into the mainstream?
Very good question. So basically, maternal health is of paramount importance, especially in the rural areas. Because if a mother is healthy, the child would also be healthy. All doctors say this. So if I have to say in doctors' terms, so all three categories of healthcare, antenatal, prenatal, and during the pregnancy. So the entire 42 days period after the childbirth is most critical for the maternal health perspective. So especially in the rural areas, what we have seen of late is though the institutional births have increased, but in spite of that, there is lack of knowledge about how to take care postnatal or prenatal. So all these things are still being demonstrated by the ANMs. There are lack of good quality doctors. If there are doctors, they're not present. So though ladies are coming to the hospitals, but during the hospital tenure, they are being taken care of. But beyond that, it is not. And that is the most important reason for those number of maternal deaths, even if you look at the child deaths, which is happening during the first day or first week of the birth. That is also because of the low level of knowledge, or at least no facilities. Because if they don't have knowledge how to take care of the child, how to take care of their health, what kind of precautions, what kind of medicines or whatever things they need to do. So still they are living, especially in the rural areas, they are depending on the traditional knowledge which is there. Though traditional knowledge is also paramount importance, and it has been tried and tested for years. But with the passes of the time, with the technological interventions, things have changed a lot. So in my personal opinion, and whatever I have studied, what I have seen, I have been in the panel of the World Health Organization for maternal health. So I have represented India multiple times, and still I'm in their panel. So I have gone to the villages. I have literally seen, because these ladies don't have any knowledge, and it gives immense pain to us that we in the cities, we are having so many facilities. They are poor people. If they at all want to have facilities, they are not able to get it in time. So all those things, here it becomes very important that first the supply should be there, and secondly, in order to avail of those supplies, they need to be educated. So we need to invest a lot on antenatal care, prenatal, all these things we need to take care of, and that's the responsibility of all of us, the educated lot, educated women. If at all we get any chance, at least we try to educate one lady, try to help at least one, and with that things would improve. From there was a time in 1950s when our maternal mortality rate, like for 1 lakh childbirths, live childbirths, there were more than 500 ladies
Yeah.
who were dying.
Yeah.
So now we have achieved a level of 97. So today our maternal, mortality ratio is 97, but still there is a huge inequality, huge gap between the mortality level, MMR in the urban areas, in the rural areas, and especially if I have to look at different states. So there is a huge gap between the northern states or the southern states.
Yes,
So
yes.
that gap need to be filled in,
Yeah.
and that can be filled in only by educating all of us and the people over there. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am. A quick question to Chayakant Naik bhai. Brother, within half a minute, can you please tell us how, in your opinion, can media houses be instrumental in advocating feminine principle?
In one word, I can say no, media houses cannot do that. The society has to do it. If the society comes up, then only media houses can
But media has a role to play, brother.
They have a role to play, but the society
Yeah.
also has a role to play.
Yeah,
Media
yes,
houses
yes.
vision TRP and viewership and readership.
Yes, yes.
Unless the readership, viewership improves, media house cannot do anything.
No, viewership is a different thing, but viewership improved, but you are not addressing those issues, then how the audience can react and respond to that also?
That is
That
what
is also one
happening
thing.
if audience wants to see a good-looking girl in TV. So media house have to promote a good-looking girl in the TV as a news reader, not for anything else. At least for acceptability, nothing else.
Okay.
And I will just add one. I'll take half an more. I'll just my daughter.
Can I add to his question?
Yeah.
That how do you change mindsets? The mindset को change करना है.
Yeah, mindset is a long process. The mindset is a long process. It cannot be done by one section of the society and takes long time. Media has a role. I admit media has a role, but takes a long time. And it is done by everybody in the part of the society. And just to tell about our this thing, my daughter is vice president with Lalpat. She had gone to Ranikhet. She was heard there is a leopard in the area. I said, where is the leopard? And leopard is in the PHC, Primary Health Center. So what the leopard is doing in Primary Health Center? No, there are no doctors. It was closed for many days. So the leopard safely came, gave 2 cups, and once they are grown up, they will go. That is just one example I gave in Ranikhet area. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So the last question of the session to Shilpa Didi. Didi, the real and holistic development is possible only if the model is founded on feminine principle. But how can feminine principle gain acceptance in a masculine society? What is the roadmap to this transformation?
I talked about this in the speech also, that you cannot solve this masculine feminine in gender consciousness. You have to come out of it. We are souls. The book that we read, men are from Mars, women are from Venus, is not true. We come from the same world, the soul world. We are just wrapped in different bodies. And the body has a gender, we don't have a gender. And every soul in a male body, in a female body, they are made of the same qualities. And those qualities are what determines the feminine principle, which is knowledge, purity, peace, love, happiness, bliss, and power. These are the 7 qualities that is the essence of every soul. So basically, there is no problem with this masculinity, femininity, there is no problem. The problem is, and you see, what is a man seeking? God? No. The man is seeking peace, the woman is seeking peace. But the thing is, we are seeking from each other. That is the problem. If we both individually sought from him, then the problem would be solved and we would be sharing it with each other. So we have to dismantle this mindset that we are half plus half 1. Now we have to be 1 plus 1, 11. है ना? तो आप सब हम एक हैं, एक हैं, आधे आधे नहीं है. हमें आधा नहीं भेजा है ना? एक हैं, परमात्मा के साथ जुड़ के होल बनेंगे, तो फिर दोनों एक दूसरे के साथ मिलके 1 और 1 11 हो जाएंगे. ठीक है? ओम शांति.
Thank you, Didi. So it ends this panel discussion. Now, yeah.
बहुत छोटा सा.
Yeah.
नहीं, आप कह रहे हैं ना कि मीडिया का इतना बड़ा रोल है. खैर, आई डोंट नो, मे बी आई एम रॉन्ग, प्लीज़ करेक्ट मी, वी आर ऑल फ्रॉम द सेम सोसाइटी. अब जैसे कोई सोप ऑपेरा, ये जो अरे आते हैं ना सीरियल्स, तो उसमें सास ने कुछ कहा, बहू ने इतनी ज़ोर से जवाब वापस दे दिया और तू मैं हो गई. आई मीन, आई गेट सॉर्ट ऑफ शॉक्ड. ऐसा नहीं है कि मेरी सास ने मुझे कुछ नहीं कहा था. अरे भाई, ये तो हुआ ही था, लेकिन ये ज़रूर है कि मैंने आगे जवाब नहीं दिया था. बुरा लगा था. धीरे धीरे चूँकि जवाब नहीं दिया, हस्बैंड भी समझ गए और सास मेरी साइड में आ गई. 7-8-9 साल बाद, टाइम लगा. बट दिस तूल तड़ाक वाली बात ये तो मीडिया करता है. फिर लिव इन रिलेशनशिप दिखा रहे हैं, न्यूडिटी दिखा रहे हैं. मतलब चलो दिखाओ, जो मर्जी पहने, जो मर्जी कोई करे, कोई बात नहीं. बट वो अब उसका असर, वो श्रद्धा मर्डर केस, अब बताइए ना. इंडियन मैन आर नॉट रेडी फॉर लिव इन ना. लिव इन का मतलब क्या है? कमिटमेंट. विदेश में तो जी लिव इन करो, मैरिज करो, पॉइंट इज कमिटमेंट. लोग लिव इन, अरे दादा नाना बन जाते हैं. यहाँ पे हम लोग सोचते हैं कि लिव इन तो जस्ट सेक्स ऑब्जेक्ट. फिर देखो कितना ब्रूटल भाई साहब, कैसे वो जिससे मोहब्बत उसको चॉप करके फ्रीजर में बंद करके. हाउ ग्रूसम डॉक्टर साहब.
Your question, ma'am. Your question, please.
तो ये हाँ, सो माय क्वेश्चन टू यू इज कि ये मीडिया ये तो इतना दिमाग खराब कर दिया ना हम सबका.
What you said is absolutely right. I agree with you. But the point there are two issues. One, we said this Sas Bahu, that is not part of media, that is part of entertainment. Okay. And as far as these events are saying, yes, this is true. But government has sanctioned gay marriage, same-sex marriage. Living in relationship also is not disallowed as it was used to be done earlier. Society has changed, maybe better for better, maybe for worse. But that is happening. And whatever is happening, you have to tell it to your readers or viewers. You cannot help it. If there is a brutal murder, you have to say that is a brutal murder done that way.
Okay, actually, there is no a long discussion can go on, so we can carry on the discussion further if time permits in the different forum. So right now we are wrapping up this panel. I would like to thank. No, in this time constraint, we are not. One question. Okay. Yeah.
I'm not going to the Kargil where more than 400 people died. I will not go to the 71 war. But these are the recent instances which have happened. So with this principle of non-violence and that too teaching at training academies as you mentioned ma'am, at NDA and IMA, where they are now being taught purely how to be aggressive, how to attack. Withdrawal is the last thing. Defense is even comes lower. So they are teaching how to strike a balance of teaching the non-violence and the attack simultaneously.
Well, the whole point is that we have not taught non-violence at all. We have only taught violent conflict resolution for years and years and centuries, Or Aldous Huxley ये भी कहते हैं that we give non-violence 2 weeks to solve a problem. And then we go on with violence for the next 1,000 years and it solves your problems. इतनी war हुई, क्या problem solve हुआ? आप बताइए. And in any case, कहीं तो शुरुआत करनी पड़ेगी. मैं तो सिर्फ ये कह रही हूँ कि non-violent defense जी एक concrete alternative है. एक concrete alternative. It's not simply words. It's not just mushy stuff, feeling good about something. Non-violence is not a sentiment, not a feeling, not an emotion. Gandhi says this. He says it's a science. It has to be learned. हमने सीखा ही नहीं. मैं अपना example लेती हूँ. Since 1987, I'm teaching, Gandhian philosophy and non-violent conflict resolution abroad. Since 1957. कितनी मेरी बदकिस्मती है, that I teach graded courses on Gandhi in foreign universities, Johns Hopkins, USA, McMaster, Canada, Alcors, Jerusalem, International Christian University, Tokyo. यहाँ कोई सुनना ही नहीं चाहता, कोई समझना ही नहीं चाहता. And I can challenge all of you and tell you that no one can teach Gandhi the way I can because of my professor. Just as he is, whatever he is, she gave him a chance. In the same way, whatever I am today, it is because of my guru. पर कोई यहाँ सुनना ही नहीं चाहता, सीखना ही नहीं चाहता. And by the way, sir, an eye for an eye will make everyone blind, ना? The whole world blind. ये तो है ही. उसने मारा, मैंने मारा, उसने मारा, मैंने मारा, कहाँ?
Yes.
तो आई थिंक कहीं तो कोई शुरुआत होनी है. और ये नॉन वायलेंट डिफेंस सर एक कॉन्क्रीट अल्टरनेटिव है. इसको पहले समझिए, देन यू विल अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इट इज. जी, नॉन वायलेंस डजंट मीन नॉट डूइंग एनीथिंग.
Yes, Anamika.
I'm going to try and make this very quick. I know already time बहुत चला गया, half a minute. So I'm just going to come to the point. I've had the privilege to work with the Indian Army very closely. And all of last year, the reason I was there was not because anybody from my family was part of the defense forces. Not my grandfather, father, I'm not married, no children, nothing. But because of what we are discussing here today, that even our soldiers are seeking something more. So I've spent time at the borders for a month. And I didn't mention this when I was sharing about myself earlier, because I didn't want to prolong that, but maybe this is an opportune moment for that, that I was at the borders for a month and they were craving to find peace within. And we are all fighting wars. We are all soldiers and we are also all terrorists in many, many ways. And one of the things which I shared there, that अगर सब अपने अपने घर में बैठे हैं, हमारे नेबर्स बैठे हैं, तो हमें तकलीफ होती है. किसी सोल्जर को गन उठानी पड़ती है, नहीं उठानी पड़ती है. हम प्रोटेक्शन के लिए आगे बढ़ जाते हैं क्योंकि हमारी मदरलैंड में कोई आ रहा है. Our thoughts, our emotions are also coming from the outside, but we are not standing for protection. That is why the violence is multiplying, whether it's a live-in relationship case that we're talking about, whether it's wars multiplying in the world, because we are okay with that. And I would also like to add, just in 10 seconds, because I worked as an artist in the films, in the media world, that somewhere, as viewers, we are buying ticket to nonsense. If we stop going and buying the tickets, the entire system is going to collapse. So let's not put it on one segment of the society. Let's not just have the doctors come in as frontline workers. Let's not just have the media do it. हम सबका एक काम है. We are living here, we are breathing here because we all have to do this work individually and together as one unit. So अगर हम यहीं पे war शुरू कर रहे हैं, तो क्या फर्क है? Of course, we all protect our families, we all protect everyone, and hats off to every soldier who is standing at the border so we can sleep peacefully. I worked closely with them. I know the pain they go through, the traumas they go through. It's the first time they're even talking about it. But what they are seeking is still that peace and that love. What they were excited about was not sharing the experience of guns, but waking up in the morning and meditating with the I2I wellness workshops I was there for. So that's what we need to do. Individually, अपने पे काम करें. अगर हमारे माँओं का काम है ना कि अपने बच्चों को सिखाए, अपने बेटों को सिखाए, बेटियों का काम है ना कि खड़े होके हिम्मत करके काम करें. So it's not on a man or a woman. As Didi said, it's on the soul consciousness. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, I would like you to request Didi to felicitate our panelists.